CATL CEO shocking warning to the EV battery industry. The electric vehicle revolution faces a massive challenge. The CEO of CATL has just sounded an alarm that could change everything. In this video, we're diving into the recent shocking warning from the CEO of CATL, the world's largest EV battery manufacturer. He has issued a stern alert to the entire EV industry, highlighting some critical issues that could hinder the growth of electric vehicles. We'll unpack what this warning means for car manufacturers, consumers, and the future of transportation. Stay tuned as we explore the potential solutions and what this could mean for you and your next car purchase. Ready? Well, let's get started. Recently, the CEO of CATL, the world's leading EV battery manufacturer, delivered a shocking warning to the entire industry. But what exactly did he say, and why should we care? The CEO of CATL has raised a red flag about a looming crisis in the supply chain for essential battery materials like lithium, cobalt, and nickel. As demand for EVs surges, these materials are becoming increasingly scarce and difficult to source. Imagine trying to bake a growing number of cakes without enough flour and sugar. That's the predicament facing the EV industry today. The scarcity of these critical resources poses a significant threat to the production of batteries, which are the heart of EVs. Without sufficient materials, the manufacturing process could slow down drastically, leading to potential delays in the availability of new EV models and possibly driving up costs. This scenario could hinder the progress of the EV revolution, which is crucial for reducing our carbon footprint and combating climate change. Now, here's a question for you. What do you think would happen if the EV industry can't keep up with the demand for batteries? Would you still consider buying an electric car if prices went up or if availability was limited? From my perspective, the situation is a wake-up call. While EVs promise a greener future, we must tackle the supply chain issues head-on to ensure that this transition is both sustainable and successful. We can't afford to solve one problem by creating another. The warning from the CATL CEO has serious implications for EV manufacturers like Tesla, Volkswagen, and General Motors. These companies are heavily investing in EV production to meet the growing demand. However, if the supply chain of essential battery materials such as lithium, cobalt, and nickel becomes constrained, it could significantly disrupt their production plans. Imagine this. Car manufacturers are like bakers who suddenly find that there's no shortage of flour. They can't bake as many cakes, and the cakes that they do bake might cost more. Similarly, if battery materials are scarce, car manufacturers might not be able to produce as many EVs, and this could lead to delays in launching new models, longer wait times for consumers, and potentially higher prices for electric cars. Here's a question for you. How would you feel if the price of EVs went up just because of these supply issues? Would it affect your decision to switch from a gasoline car to an electric one? Personally, I believe this situation highlights the importance of innovation and strategic planning in the EV industry. Manufacturers need to diversify their supply chains and invest in new technologies that reduce dependence on scarce materials. For example, companies could explore alternative battery chemistries or enhance recycling programs to reclaim valuable materials from used batteries. This proactive approach can help mitigate the risk and ensure the growth of the EV market. The CEO's warning also underscores significant environmental concerns associated with the extraction of essential battery materials. Mining for lithium, cobalt, and nickel is not only challenging, but it also has a profound impact on the environment. This includes water pollution, habitat destruction, and significant carbon emissions from mining operations. Imagine the irony. The very industry designed to reduce our reliance on fossil fuels and combat climate change is contributing to environmental degradation. The large-scale extraction of these materials often involves harmful practices. For example, lithium mining can deplete water resources in arid regions, affecting local communities and ecosystems. Cobalt mining, primarily concentrated in the Democratic Republic of Congo, often involves child labor and hazardous working conditions, raising serious ethical issues. So here's another question for you. Are we willing to accept environmental damage and human suffering in one part of the world to advance green technology in another? How do you feel about the trade-offs involved in producing electric vehicles? From my perspective, this dilemma calls for a more sustainable approach to battery production. We must balance the benefits of EVs with the need to protect our environment and uphold human rights. This could involve stricter regulations on mining practices, investing in cleaner extraction technologies, and ensuring fair labor conditions. One promising solution is enhancing battery recycling. By reclaiming valuable materials from used batteries, we can reduce the need for new mining operations. Additionally, developing new battery technologies that rely less on scarce materials can help mitigate these environmental concerns. Solid-state batteries, for instance, are an exciting area of research that might offer more sustainable alternatives. The goal should be to create a truly green and ethical supply chain for electric vehicles. This means taking responsibility for the entire life cycle of the products we use, from extraction to disposal. By doing so, we can ensure that the transition to EVs genuinely benefits both people and the planet. To address the challenges highlighted by the CATL CEO, the EV industry must explore innovative solutions to ensure a sustainable future. One crucial strategy is the recycling of old batteries to reclaim valuable materials. By developing efficient recycling processes, we can reduce the pressure on mining operations and lessen the environmental impact. Imagine if every used EV battery could be turned into a new one, minimizing waste and conserving resources. Another important approach is investing in new battery technologies that do not rely as heavily on scarce materials. Researchers are making significant strides in developing alternatives like solid-state batteries, which could offer safer, more efficient, and environmentally friendly options. These advancements can help diversify the supply chain and reduce dependence on materials like lithium, cobalt, and nickel. Better resource management is also vital. Governments and companies need to adopt responsible mining practices, ensuring that extraction processes minimize environmental harm and uphold ethical standards. This includes fair labor practices and reducing the carbon footprint of mining operations. So, here's a question for you. What do you think is the most important step we can take to ensure the sustainability of the EV industry? Is it recycling, new technologies, or better resource management? In my view, it's a combination of all these efforts. A holistic approach is essential to tackle these complex challenges facing the EV industry. By integrating recycling, innovative technologies, and responsible resource management, we can create a more sustainable and ethical supply chain. And this way, the promise of electric vehicles as a solution to climate change can be fully realized without compromising our environment and ethical values. So what does this all mean for you, the consumer? If you're thinking about buying an EV, you might wonder if now is the right time. On one hand, EVs are becoming more popular and affordable, but on the other, these supply chain issues could affect availability and prices in the future. Do you already own an electric car? How's your experience been so far? Well, let us know in the comments. Personally, I believe the CATL CEO's warning is a crucial wake-up call for the entire electric vehicle industry. It's a reminder that while EVs are a significant step forward toward a greener future, we must ensure their production is sustainable and ethical. Addressing the supply chain issues, environmental concerns, and ethical dilemmas head-on is essential. Imagine a world where every car is electric with clean air and quiet streets. It's a beautiful vision, but to make it a reality, we need to innovate and manage resources responsibly. Investing in battery recycling, developing new technologies, and adopting sustainable mining practices are all critical steps. This warning isn't just for industry leaders, but for all of us. As consumers, our choices can drive change. By supporting companies that prioritize sustainability, we can help steer the EV revolution toward a more responsible and sustainable future. So the CATL CEO's warning highlights some serious challenges for the electric vehicle industry. We need to address the scarcity of critical materials, the environmental impact of mining, and the importance of recycling and new technologies. This warning is not just for the industry leaders, but for all of us. We all have a role to play in ensuring a sustainable future. As we move forward, it is crucial to support policies and practices that promote sustainable resource management. Whether you're a car manufacturer, a government official, or a consumer, your actions matter. Let's make sure that the electric vehicle revolution is not only about cleaner cars, but also a cleaner, more sustainable planet.